As soon as we paused this podcast, Louis said to me, "Are you sure this is funny? Isn't this just a bit creepy?" Well, it goes to show, Lee, people don't pay attention to lyrics, and I think sometimes you should maybe pay attention to the lyrics. I mean, we know who that was, don't we?
I knew you were going to play this tune. I was like, he's going to play Sting, or was it the Police at the time?
The Police.
And that tune, because I've seen him interviewed, and he said that tune was about when he divorced from his wife, or was breaking up with his wife.
Because he was going with another woman who he used to live next door to.
Hang on, he
Yeah.
was going with another woman?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the tune was like, so he was saying that because she cheated on him, and then he was now like, I'm keeping my eye on you. Oh, right.
Yeah.
No, Sting. Well, they're very confusing, these tunes, where it's sort of, you're not sure who's singing it. I suppose that's the thing.
So it was Sting. Sting was singing that.
No, I mean,
I'm certain it was Sting.
Yeah, but the character of if the lyrics are a story,
Yeah.
and and a person in that story is saying, every step you take. Who's saying every step you take? Is that Sting's wife, or is that Sting?
Well, apparently he was married to Frances Tumulty, who was the best friend of Trudy Styler, and he started and they lived next door, and then he started an affair with them, and then they got married. As Sting recalled, "I woke up in the middle of the night with that line in my head, sat down at the piano, and had written it in half an hour." That's good work, isn't it? And he said, "It sounds like a comforting love song. I didn't realise at the time how sinister it is. Oh, can't you see you belong to me? Then every step you take, I'll be watching you."
I know, it's very creepy, isn't it?
That was from their... You notice when moving through the decades, that was from 1983, Synchronicity, when the band were having physical fistfights in the studio.
The band were having physical fistfights in the studio?
During the recording of their album. Because they hated each other at this point.
So everyone's breaking up.
Yeah. Apparently Sting also said he was later disconcerted by how many people think the song is more positive than it is. He insists it's about the obsession with a lost lover and the jealousy and surveillance that follow. One couple told me, "Oh, we love that song. It was the main song played at our wedding." I thought, well, good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I heard. But I thought the interview I saw with him was like, people have it as their song at the wedding, and at first that bothered me, but then Sting went, but you know what? If people, that's their favourite tune, then you can ascribe your own meaning to it.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah.
I mean, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, you've done an English degree, isn't that what, like? I don't really get it, but apparently you can read something and then you can give your own meaning to it, and that's valid.
Yeah, it is.
Or even you can be like, you can have whole movements. You say this book is about this, and then the author go, "No, that's not what I meant at all," and they'll be like, "Doesn't matter. That's what we think it's about." So it is.
For them, it is. Yeah, you can't change your own personal reading of it. So if you want to think of that as if you think it is, I'll be watching you in a sort of warm, comforting, protective way, as in the same way you'd watch a child. Yeah. Sort of, but not like, does your mother know watching a child?
Exactly.
Not like that. Let's be clear.
In a caring way. Yeah, I still haven't properly got my head around that, because isn't what the author meant? Isn't that the real meaning?
But what's real? What is the real? That's their meaning. But once you create something and you push it out to the world, it's like that's then it's not yours anymore.
Right.
People can come to and say, "What did you mean when you wrote this?" But you can take it to mean something very different. And that's opinion is just as valid, because that is the meaning that you have ascribed to it.
Yeah, I expect Jesus wouldn't be too happy with some of the meanings that people ascribe to some of his things.
Yeah, I don't remember Jesus ever saying, "Kill people who disagree with me."
Exactly. There was the thing, that whole do not kill thing in the Ten Commandments. But yeah,
I don't think there's anything in the. Is there anything in the Quran that says, "Don't draw cartoons of me, or I'll kill you"?
Nigel Thomas, we're not talking about this. We are not talking about this.
Yes, we are.
No, I know you like to walk you like to walk on the edge.
I do.
But let's
I think it's
talk
full of
about
peace.
Music.
Oh, Louis, stop being such a scaredy cat. You can't. People can't stop you from talking about these things.
Well, I mean, if they, I'm not.
I think it's meant to be a peaceful religion, Louis. That's what I'm trying to say to you. And people, extremists and people read things into it, thinking that it's valid. But then we just said it is, haven't we? So
anyway, enough about Christianity. So
Look at that, you're genuinely uncomfortable, Louis.
creeped out.
Are you
If you
afraid of-
wanted to creep me out, you've done it. You
Are
creeped
you-
me out. You creeped the
Are
listeners
you afraid
out.
of being assassinated by some crazed person?
A bit. It's happened. Salman Rushdie didn't come out too good out of it, did he?
No, he didn't, did he?
Well, it's
Are you comparing Music Natters with
he's got a few more
the
listeners.
Satanic
And the
Verses
saving grace
and Midnight's Child?
is we don't have
Midnight's Children, rather.
We don't have a lot of listeners, so
Not yet, but by the
it could
a couple of
happen.
years,
exactly, and then people.
this could have millions of
Well,
listeners.
what about that though? I mean, because people, now the press will like trawl through your Twitter,
They'll trawl
find an
through
old
this,
one,
yeah.
and then write a story about it. Now,
Yeah.
what about and ascribe meaning to it? So, where do you stand on all of that?
You could say that's misinterpretation. It depends on what the person did mean, and if it's years ago and whether they apologise for it and moved on, it's a minefield, though, isn't it? Whether you forgive people, because everyone's done stupid things in the past. Do you let that go? Do you forgive that, or do you cancel them and do you say you can never be forgiven for this kind of thing? I think at some point you have to, if they've moved on and have changed, you have to forgive them, don't you?
Well,
If
I
it's-
think
if
it
it's a
depends. It
minor-
depends on the severity. I think if things are illegal, well, if you're breaking the law, then you should.
I'm not saying if you killed
have a
someone 10
trial.
years ago and then
Yeah. If you killed someone 10 years ago, I mean that is that's pretty and it was against the law then, it's against the law now. I mean it's pretty much
But holding misguided opinions, if you've proven in those years you've moved on, you have that kind of thing. I think has to be forgiven, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, culture moves on, doesn't it? Yeah. Well,
I think the same about judging historical figures on today's morals. You can't. You have to accept that they are flawed. The historical figures, you might say like Churchill, Nelson, these people, they are flawed compared. Today they are, but you have to look at it and balance and say at the time and think be aware of the bad things, but then say, look, this is the good they did, because at some point, we're all going to be judged in the future anyway. So you have to look at it with some balance, I think.
Well, what about? I still haven't got my head around. Is it Sting? So, is this Sting? Because I always think of music in terms of like a music video. Whether if I've seen the music video, I'll be thinking of that. If I've not seen the music video, I'll be imagining one.
Yeah.
And so I'm and I love it. Like I love a song with a music video with a story. Like a-ha's Take on Me, best music video ever, surely.
Is that the one in the where they're exercising? No, that was the remake of that, wasn't it? I don't know.
Nigel Thomas. I can't believe that. It's the one where they go into a comic. She ends up getting sucked into a comic, and then she's with the pop star, and then they sort of have to, and then they get in chase and just escape, and it's got this whole story. So I love that. So with this, I'm like imagining there's music, there's a story. So who's the character? Who's the character who's going? Every breath you take, I'll be watching you. Is that character? Is that Sting?
Yeah, that's him singing to someone. Obviously, he's either split up with or going through a rough patch. And he's saying,
Oh, but there's that. There's that lyric. Every step you take, every vow you break. But surely he was the one. He cheated on her, so he's the one who broke the vow.
Not necessarily. We don't know that he cheated on her according to those lyrics.
Oh, I thought you said in your bio there that he was.
Oh, that was the basis of him writing the song. I don't think there's nothing in the lyrics to say that.
But he got it together with the next door neighbour, didn't he? So I mean, he was breaking vows.
Yeah, but it could be that he's jealous of the woman he's having the affair with, so she's breaking her vows too.
Oh.
So. Oh. And also her vows of friendship with his current wife. But that's if he was writing about that. But I think also he was also.
Well, I'm more confused than that. Vows of friendship. Surely his current wife, he would have. You don't stand up on an altar and say, "I vow to be your friend," do you?
No. I'm talking about the women. They were friends before.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. Anyway, as Louis' brain, clogs. Writers, write in. Am I just being stupid, or was any of that complexity there? Justified me because it took me.
Well, no, you can read it. You weren't being that stupid on this occasion. I think you can read into different meanings into the songs and decide to what extent his real life situation was feeding into his lyrics. Whether he was just inspired by the feelings he had by all that happening and then wrote something on a starting point of that, but then went off to talk about surveillance and George Orwell and that kind of thing.
I might maybe argue, is it even a creepy tune? Because if you just don't listen to the lyrics, then it's quite, it's quite sort of a love tune, isn't it? As he said.
If you don't listen to the lyrics, it's a love tune. You think the melody is like a love melody.
Oh, good point. No, you've got me on a.
I've got you on a
technicality,
on a fact,
a logical.
got you on a reality.
I suppose there is.
I've got you on a reality check. I've got you on an actuality.
Does it feel like every step you? I suppose that is important. There's a sentiment there, isn't there? So it's a case of like, how hard are you listening?
But
and in my case, never very hard.
Never very hard. Well, until now, maybe this is going to change you. An interesting quote from Stuart Copeland about the song. He said he thought this is Sting's best song with the worst arrangement. I think Sting could have had any other group do this song and it would have been better than our version, except for Andy's brilliant guitar part. Basically, there's an utter lack of groove. It's a totally wasted opportunity for the band, even though we made gazillions off it, and it's the biggest hit we ever had. When I listen to this recording, I think, God, what a bunch of arseholes we were.
And who said that?
Stuart Copeland, the drummer.
The drummer.
Yeah.
But you were saying at that time everyone was...
Yeah, I mean, Sting and Copeland were having physical fistfights.
So it might be a bit sour grapes or something,
yeah.
That might not be the reality. I mean, is it... Actually, I'm interested here because you said the ABBA tune had an amazing arrangement. What do you think of this one?
I mean, I personally like it.
And
but then it's such a classic song, it's hard to envisage something else, isn't it? But I like it, personally. But I wasn't there when they were creating it.
And why is the ABBA arrangement good?
Why is that good?
Yeah. Just because I'm sure it is good.
Oh wait,
I
don't know the production. I said the production was good.
Like what? How would I know something's well produced? I wouldn't even know.
It's about the balance of the instruments.
Okay.
It's a lot of different things, really. How clear things are, instruments coming and going, the clarity of each track, perhaps.
Well, are they Swedish? The Scandinavians, the Swedes. I think they're known for making amazing pop tunes, aren't they?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Winning Eurovision and so on.
Well done them.
As ABBA. Should we do another tune?
Yeah, that was before we go, their 5th UK #1, topped the charts. Sting received Ivor Novello Awards, Grammy Awards, all sorts of stuff from that. Oh, and also that song, that one song was estimated to generate between a quarter and a third of Sting's music publishing income. Millions and millions and millions and millions of pounds. In 2019, it was recognised by the BMI as the most played song in radio history. He wrote that in half an hour, Louis. Half an hour. Millions, tens of millions, if not more, from that one song. Half an hour's work.
I mean, that's good work if you can get it.
Yeah. Kind of makes me want to work harder.
Or less, surely.
Yeah. We're going to go into the 90s now.
Okay.
With this next track. I think you'll know this one, Louis. Even you will know this, and I'd like you to listen to the lyrics, if you can, without wandering off in your brain, thinking about fairies. Here we go.
Yes.